Enjoy this presentation. Hello, class, and welcome. Today we have a very exciting lesson on viruses. Our essential question for today is, how do viruses work? Can I get everybody to repeat our essential question?
How do viruses work?
Yes, I only heard one student. It's very important that we understand the essential question so that we are able to understand our lesson for today. So let's say the essential question again. Everybody?
How do viruses work?
Great. Great job. Yes. I love to hear that enthusiasm, and we are going to be highly engaged in our lesson today. And because we are virtual, I want everybody to participate. This is still a lesson that you will need to be engaged with as we go through the learning process. By the, hey, okay, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand how viruses work and explain why diseases caused by viruses are difficult to treat. So let's engage. Are y'all ready? Because we love science.
Amen.
Yay! All right, so we have our participants and we are now going to get started. Now, I asked at the very beginning that everybody use their name. I see someone has put in there, hey, y'all. That is not your first and last name. I will not be able to identify you by hey, y'all. So you will be removed and you will need to re-enter the proper name. So,
I'm answering my question, Ms. Will.
I'm glad that you're doing so. This is our question for today. We're going to start off our activator because we always want to activate our prior knowledge. So this is our catalyst, our question that gets us going. Have you or anyone you know ever been infected by a virus? That is the common cold, chicken pox, or anything of that sort. And now with COVID-19 could be one of those viruses. Describe the experience. How long did it take you to recover? Did you take any medicine? So I'm going to give you time to do that, and I'm going to hide your names so that your answers are shown to the class, but they keep your identity confidential. Let's go ahead and take about 30 seconds to answer that question. Crystal? Okay, we're still in class. Now, you take time after class, and you can have your snack break and eat your snacks. No, you're not going to log off. You're going to put those snacks away.
You better help me get on teach.
Yes, I am. I'm going to send you the message directly in the chat box.
I answered my question before.
Okay, let's look at these. Yes, I done had all them. My mama took me to the ER. I was on a lot of drugs. Okay, I'm glad that you shared that, but at the same time, we want to use correct grammar. So yes, I had all of them. And when you say whomever that is, when you say all of them, I'm going to assume you mean you had a common cold, you had the chicken pox, and you possibly have had COVID-19. But you need to be specific in stating which ones that you can identify with. Your mother took you to the ER. I was on a lot of drugs. Now you will be taken to the emergency room. That's a method for treatment. Someone said, yes, I had a painful experience with the chicken pox. My mom applied a topical antibiotic. She is a nurse. That is great. And one of those topical antibiotics is going to help in treating that. It's going to stop because, with chicken pox, you have a lot of itching going on. That's one of the symptoms. Also, want to say, yes, I had shingles. I had chicken pox as a young boy. So at a very young age, you had chicken pox. And when you have chicken pox, that is actually stored in your body. That virus is still there, and that's where shingles come from. Okay, we're not, according to, we did a lesson on privacy with HIPAA, Crystal, and I know you remember that. We talked about HIPAA laws and how we don't reveal personal information about someone's health. Do you recall, Crystal?
My bad, Miss Williams.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Okay, I'm reading them. I once had the chicken pox. It took about 2 weeks to recover. The experience was very unpleasant, itchy, associated with a fever and a decrease in appetite. My uncle had HIV. Him died in December, and he didn't recover because we buried him in the ground. Okay, we're sorry to hear about your passing of your uncle, whomever that was. But once again, let's always remember correct grammar. And your uncle, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Somebody typed in a chat box. They said, please don't disclose your personal information with the class. But we do thank you for sharing that experience. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your uncle.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
You're welcome. We're going to move.
Good job, Crystal.
Okay, so now, what do you already know about viruses? Read the statement below and circle true or false.
I'll go, Ms. Williams.
Okay, go ahead, Manuela.
Viruses are not technically living things. True. I put true.
Okay, that's fine. Can we get somebody else to read? Carla, please read.
Okay, you can use antibiotics to treat viruses. That's false.
Okay.
You cannot use antibiotics to treat viruses.
All right. John Mixon, will you read the third one?
Viruses are bigger than cells. That's false.
Okay. And now John Smith, will you read the fourth one?
Yes, ma'am. Viruses need host cells to replicate. I seem to remember replicate means to reproduce itself, I believe.
That's right, John.
I'm going to say true.
Okay, sounds great. And Imaje, can you please read the last one?
Bacteria infections are harder to treat than viruses. False.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come back and revisit that.
Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Okay, I'm going to move on. We're going to stay and we're going to support each other. So let's get ready to explore. Yay! On the next week's sides, you're going to explore a three. Yeah, I love to hear that enthusiasm for science. You're going to explore 3D models of a virus particle and bacterial cell, both of which can cause infections in humans. As you explore, think about their similarities and differences, like we would discuss. So, I'm going to show this short video clip. This is influenza. Okay, now after looking at that video, what did you notice?
It has RNA in it.
It has RNA.
Okay, RNA is present. Okay, that's correct. RNA is known as what?
Ribonucleic acid.
That is correct. All right, thank you, John. What else did you all notice about that virus?
It was round.
It was round. That is correct. Anything else?
That's nuclear protein.
Okay, your protein is there, yes. And we know that RNA is a type of proteins that goes back to our macromolecules that we talked about. But it's very important that we look at the structure of the virus, right? Because different viral structures play a role in how they function as well. So that's important to know. Anybody else, Carla, anybody else like to add on anything else? Go ahead. Thank you, Crystal, for raising your hand. Hold on, Crystal. I do believe in there's a hand clap for you. Go ahead, Crystal.
What was them little balls on it?
So can anybody tell Crystal what the balls represented?
Is it maybe where the virus could hook into healthy cells and hurt you?
Okay, can you say that again for us, John Smith?
Is it maybe where the virus could hook into healthy cells and hurt you?
That is possibly true, and that is correct. Because we know that a virus has to get inside of a what?
Host.
Inside of a host. And once it gets inside that host, that's what causes infections. So let's think about that in relation to COVID-19. How is COVID-19 being spread?
In the air.
In the air. So that means that once that virus is out in the air, it's moving around. What did you say?
Whose thing is that?
Okay.
It's Henry.
Oh, go ahead, Henry. Go ahead. Say what you were saying.
I said COVID-19 is not being spread by the air. It's a droplet. Kind of like when you get a cold. I mean, if somebody sneezes or cough in your face, and the droplets land on you or something that you touch, that's how you get it, by touching your face and nose, not by just the air. Otherwise, we would all have it.
That's
But that's
correct.
Miss Williams just showed a video the other day about how it's airborne. And so it's beyond the droplets, but that was one of the things that she did share before. Go ahead, Miss Williams.
Yes, but Henry is right. She's saying that if it was just out in the air by itself, the virus itself is not necessarily what is making us sick in it being in the air. It's when we those droplets get into where,
Breathe it in.
yes, we get into our body. Breathe in. Because then who is the host?
Individual which it lands on.
Yeah, the individual which it lands on. Crystal said viruses land in small aerosolized droplets, remain in the air and travel long distances. So we know that we see that the virus is traveling. And that's why it's being spread so quickly, is because what's one of the key things that helps you from getting the virus? What can help you, a preventive method?
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. Crystal, what else did you look up when you were looking that information up? We can't hear you if you're muted.
It's from China.
Okay, so it has some origins in China. That is correct. But has it been contained to just China? No. We're seeing it here in the United States as well. Oh, we have an interruption. Hold on. Okay, sometimes we have interruptions in class, but we're going to continue on. All right, so we know that we're saying that it spreads to those droplets that are then uptake, like maybe an uptake in your mouth by you not washing your hands, breathing it in, touching something, then touching your mouth. So those are the ways that it is spread. So let's continue on. Yes, sir, that is correct.
Oh, Miss Williams?
Yes.
My little cousin, he's a lot younger than me, and he's in elementary school, and his teacher got onto him because he was licking the doorknob of his classroom. Is that a bad thing?
That is a very bad thing.
Could he get COVID?
Yes, he can get COVID. Can anybody tell John Smith why his little cousin could get COVID from licking the door handle?
Because he nasty.
We know that
someone touched the doorknob who sneezed in their hand, the virus remains there for how long do we study? It remains there for a couple of minutes, doesn't it?
yes, sometimes depending on the surfaces, sometimes up to longer than that, depending on the surface that it's on. So what advice do you give John to tell his little cousin?
Do that no more.
Or not, because he's carrying what type of things? What do we call those? Viruses. Yes. We call, we think about what, does anybody remember we talked about this keyword? What are disease causing agents? Begins with the letter P. Pathogens. Good job, John Mixon. So that's what we need to remember. We do not need to let those pathogens get inside of our body. All right, let's get to the end part of this, the next part of our lesson.